I'm Kimber Becker on Channel 4 News.
And I'm Eric Broman. Are you a good listener? Or have you noticed different listening styles between you and your peers? Joining with us tonight in Latrobe, Pennsylvania is Dr. Traci Becker. She is a relationships therapist and she specializes in listening skills. Welcome, Dr. Becker.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Kimber. What does listening really mean? According to Vertebra's Interact textbook, listening is the process of receiving, constructing meaning from, and responding to spoken or nonverbal messages. We all think we are good listeners, but one study actually suggests that 60% of communication time is spent listening. But after 48 hours, many of us only remember 25% of what we've heard. Even more concerning, if there was more than one listener, we all remembered, or many of them remembered different things about the conversation. One subject I'd like to talk about is the styles of listening. There are 4 styles of listening. There's people-oriented, content-oriented, time-oriented, and content-oriented. If someone is content-oriented, they like to focus on the facts and the evidence that they can get out of the message. If they are people-oriented, they focus on what the message tells us about the person and their feelings. If someone is action-oriented, they focus on the point of the speaker is trying to make, and time-oriented, the people prefer brief and swift conversations. Let's look at a movie clip and see what styles we can point out.
Hey, what's your name?
Helen.
That's nice. You look like a Helen.
Helen, we're both in sales.
Let me tell you why I suck as a salesman. Let's say I go into some guy's office. Let's say he's even remotely interested in buying something. Well, then I get all excited. I'm like, Jojo, the idiot circus boy with a pretty new pet. The pet is my possible sale. Oh, my pretty little pet. I love you. So I stroke it, and I pet it, and I massage it. Yeah, I love it. I love my little naughty pet. You're naughty. And then I take my naughty pet and I go. Oh! I killed it! I killed my sale. That's when I blow it. That's when people like us have got to forge ahead, Helen. Am I right?
God, you're sick. Tell you what, I'll go turn the fryers back on and throw some wings in for you.
Hey, thanks, Helen. Tell me likey. Tell me want wingy.
Dr. Becker, are you suggesting we learn from a 90s comedy on bettering our listening skills?
Hey, Tom and Boy is a classic. There's a lot of good life lessons you can learn from there.
Well, Kimber, this may seem like an odd example, but Helen shows us a people-oriented listener. Instead of listening to Tommy's rambling, she sees how his story has affected him. She focuses on what it can tell her about Tommy and his feelings. Let's watch another scene from the movie and see if you can spot out what listening style is being shown.
Crazy. I'm crazy for feeling.
Hey, Chiefy, could you tell me how far it is to Davenport?
22 miles.
Okay, I can't find it on this map.
Well, get yourself a new map.
It's got to be on the map. Davenport, I mean, because you say it's 22 miles away. And you're really smart, yet it's not on the map.
I'm picking up your sarcasm.
Well, I should hope so, because I'm laying it on pretty thick.
That's map of Illinois, which we're in, on the border of Iowa, which is where Davenport is, 22 miles away. You're in the wrong state. Get yourself a new map.
Oh. Well, that wasn't so hard, was it? Okay, how much do we have for gas?
You didn't pump any.
What? Hey, why don't you pump any gas?
They're all out. They only got diesel. Better go to the next station.
What'd you do?
The man in the gas station seems to use either the content or time-oriented style. He didn't seem too concerned about Richard's feelings like Helen noticed Tommy's.
Well, obviously he didn't use any listening skills in driving school, or ever really.
You're exactly right, Kimber. This is an example of content-oriented. The man at the gas station gave Richard a direct answer. He didn't want to explain himself, rather just say 22 miles. The second subject we'll look at is listening apprehension. Listening apprehension is the anxiety we feel about listening that interferes with our ability to be effective listeners. This anxiety is sort of like a roadblock and doesn't allow the correct messages to go through. How about we have Tommy Boy show us another example?
All right, now, it's sale time, so remember, we don't take
No from anyone.
No.
We don't take no prisoners.
We don't take no for an answer.
Oh, yeah. We don't take no for an answer. We don't take no for an answer. We don't take no for an answer.
No.
Okie dokie.
No.
Gotcha, thanks.
Mm-mm.
Terrific. Thanks for your time.
Let me say, maybe.
So, other than the styles of listening, what else can you tell us about this subject?
The third and final subject I like to point out are the two approaches to process the information we receive. There is passive listening, the effortless, thoughtless, and habitual process of receiving the messages we hear. And active listening, the skillful, intentional, deliberate, conscious process. In active listening, we attend, understand, remember, critically evaluate, and respond to the messages we hear. Patch Adams, the movie, is full of examples for each of these. I'll play 2 clips and you can try to distinguish which is which.
My father died when I was 9. He was in the army. He wasn't home very much. 2 weeks before he died, he told me that in the Korean War it felt like he lost his soul. All this time I thought it was me. I've moved 7 times in the last year. I've had several jobs. Nothing seemed to fit. I don't seem to fit.
And when your father died, how did that make you feel?
I don't know. I was 9. It was like there's this distinction suddenly between you and the rest of the world. I looked around me. Life went on just like it did before. But it wasn't like it was before. My uncle helped. He would visit. He at least listened. And I thought, if I could light my own farts, I could fly to the moon, or at least Uranus. But if I couldn't do that, at least I could use my penis as a pogo stick, and that might be a way of getting around.
I'm sorry? Yes, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, well, I think you're making fine progress, Hunter. We'll talk later in group.
Thank you. Is it me? I mean, are we good friends that occasionally kiss?
Patch, my entire life, men have been attracted to me. My entire life. When I was a little girl, I would look out my bedroom window at the caterpillars. I envied them so much. No matter what they were before, no matter what happened to them, they could just hide away, you know, and turn into these beautiful creatures that could fly away completely untouched. I hated men so much. I wanted nothing to do with them.
So, the first clip is an example of passive listening. The doctor was listening, but only while he was focusing on other things. The second clip is active listening. Patch listens to what his partner is saying. He's being intentional and deliberate. Each of us could use all of this information to become effective listeners. All it takes is a little time and practice.
Probably didn't help either.
Thank you for your time, Dr. Becker.
Yeah.
We could all benefit from your advice.
Yes. Thank you for the reminder not to eat paint chips, and also for the fresh reminder of having a fresh basket of chicken wings. It's always good for you.
And here's our weatherman, Travis Becker.
It's gonna rain!
Thank you, Travis. Now, we have no other news tonight, so this is how we're going to close. Keep it real, Coon Rapids.